Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special reading for Cancers who are in a twin flame connection. Cancers who are in a twin flame connection. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your likes, shares, and subscribes. Please note, I will never reach out to you to solicit for private readings, so please be aware of scammers. I do offer private readings, and if you are interested in signing up for one, the link can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, but I just want you to keep yourselves safe. So, Cancers, I'm also a twin flame, and it was very important for me to make this series of readings for those of you out there who understand that connection. If you are a cross watcher or you don't know what a twin flame connection is, there are many videos that will probably explain it a lot better than me. But in short, it's a divine connection with another soul. It's more than a soulmate. It's an unbreakable bond with another person who is essentially the other half of you. It can be a very triggering relationship. There's always a chaser and there's always a runner. And sometimes those energies can flip depending on the circumstances. So twin flames very much trigger each other. The connection with them can be very, very intense. Can also be loving, but also can be self-destructive. It's difficult to describe, but I'm going to try my best. And Cancers, you are the first ones to receive this reading, so please bear with me as I just fumbled my way through that explanation. But if you are a twin flame, then you already know what I'm talking about. If you are not a twin flame, or you're not sure if you are, please look up the definition of that online. It's more than a soulmate. It's a person that you may not be guaranteed to be with in this lifetime, but you can feel them in every fiber of your being. So to do this special reading, I chose the Way Home Tarot for the overall spread, and for the overall energy, the Human Spirit Oracle, which I didn't realize. As you can see here, I knew these two were meant to be because you can see the keyhole there. When you open up this box, there's a keyhole right here as well. So with the key inside. So I'm intuitively guided to choose the decks that I use for my readings. So already we're off to a very rocky start, which is in line with the twin flame way. So twins, let me get the overall energy for your, that card just fell on the ground, your connection. Twin flames. The card is Eat Your Words. Eat your words. Number 34, which reduces to a 7. 7 represents the Chariot card in tarot, the Cancer energy. You showed up in your own reading. This is definitely a reading for you. So there are several words on here. I'm going to read them out to you. Doubt, judgment, rude. So twins, are you in a very difficult period with your twin at the moment? What's interesting about this, that's the second time that it's fallen. I don't drop my tarot cards, so it's significant. This character looks very self-satisfied, doesn't it? Very self-satisfied, but you notice wearing very kind of pantomime, heavy makeup, kind of period makeup on their face. It's like a mask, right? So this idea that it's just a facade. That the things that your twin may be doing or saying, it's, you know, the word doubt is on the fork. So it's all based in fear, as we know, twins. Let's get the tarot out for you. These cards have been pre-shuffled. The first pile will be your energy. The second pile will be their energy. The third pile is the connection. And the fourth pile will be advice. 4 cards to the base spread, 4 cards to clarify. I may pull cards to further clarify if I feel like it's necessary. Okay, so right off the bat, twins. Okay, in your energy at the moment, you have the Daughter of Wands in the reverse, which is the Page of Wands, and the 5 of Cups, clarifying it in the upright. Just notice here, the 5 cups are all spilled. They're all spilled here, 2 cups full. 2 cups in the tarot represents divine connection, soul connection. So right away, I find significance in this card just personally, but it might resonate for you. As a Cancer born on the 4th of July, I see fireworks here. So it resonates, being in the summer months, which is when Cancer is born. Daughter of Wands in the reverse is somebody who is maybe a little unwilling at this time to take a step forward, to take a risk on their twin, to even make a small little gesture. And this is perhaps the reason why. That it's difficult, isn't it, to see the 3 spilled cups on the ground and think that there's anything redeeming about this situation. In this deck, you know, I'm noticing that this character is in silhouette, so it's almost like there's not even a fully formed conception of the self at this time. And it's curious to be given their energy, which I will show you in a moment. But this is telling me right now that there's a little bit of stagnancy because this card is in reverse. There's no movement. There's no initiation. There's no spark. There's sparks within. There's burning, like within the heart space, especially within the heart space. But it's like it has nowhere to go. Almost like this water doused it out, like all the feelings that you may have felt that you wasted have quieted this energy. But Spirit's drawing, or wants to draw your attention to these 2 cups. The 2 of Cups, not just a connection with your twin, but the connection to your higher self, the connection to yourself here. It's absolutely vital that you listen. I mean, now I'm hearing that Roxette song, Listen to Your Heart. You guys, that's an old song at this point. It's listen to your heart because it's calling for you. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know why. Listen to your heart. Before he tells you goodbye, before it tells you goodbye, something like that. Listen to your heart before he tells you goodbye. That's really intense. That's a lot more intense than I was expecting it to be. So, but part of the twin flame connection is, yes, we have to listen to our heart, but not simply for our twin and their self-satisfaction, right? It's not about that. The thing about the twin flame journey is you have to be in total love with self. So if you are not in union right now, and I'm assuming if you're watching this that you are not, the key is always going to be love for self first. Because in a way, and I say this with a lot of I say this with a lot of caution, that it's easy to love your twin. Now, I don't mean that it's actually easy, because it can almost be debilitating. It can almost be suffocating. It can almost be like torture to be separated from your twin. But when you think about loving them, it's like easy. It may not be easy in the material world, but in your heart, you love them. It's easy. Is it as easy to love yourself? And that's what they do to you. They trigger that. Can you love yourself more than you love me? And when that happens, many twins are kind of coming online in the world. Twins are discovering one another. They're discovering that they're twins. Not all twin flame connections are born in the same lifetime. But if you are, and you've been fortunate enough to meet your twin, to have had a connection with your twin, then you know that in separation, you find your path to ascension. You find your path to your calling. So when I separated from my twin, that's when I learned to read tarot. I learned to read tarot, and I learned to channel messages. I learned about my spirit guides. I learned to connect. All of that happened when I was, and continue to be, in separation from my twin. Because separating from him gave me time to focus on me, to focus on myself, and everything in my life elevated. Everything. It's kind of ironic. It's ironic, but this is the energy that you're in right now. You're feeling lost for words. This says, eat your words. I'm saying lost for words. You don't even know how to speak about it anymore. It's also kind of a warning, right? Doubt, judgment, rude. These are very low vibrational energies. There's also this sense, there's like cheese here. There's a sense of overindulgence in the ego. So it's quite vital for you right now to just humble, and I just said humble pie, to humble yourself. Like if you're gonna eat something right now, it's humble pie. And I saw 1313 on my timer just as I said that. That's crazy. It's important now to not vilify your twin. Anything that you think about your twin, ultimately, it's like they mirror you, right? It's a mirroring energy, so it's just going to come back to you. So whatever you put out in the world, do it with love and compassion, right? That's what Cancers are good at. Love and compassion. And just say, you're not good for me right now, but I wish you well. You're not good. You're not vibing at the same frequency that I am, but I wish you well. I love you so much, but I love myself more, and I wish you well. Difficult, difficult, difficult things. What's their energy? The Daughter of Swords in reverse, represented here by snowflakes. There's a coldness. And the Universe. Look at that snowy landscape, but that gorgeous sky, like it's the cosmos depicted in the most stunning way. All of these colors make my brain do like a happy dance. They're all jewel tones. I'm wearing a jewel tone right now. Like it just makes my brain just like, oh, you know. But I'll have you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Two people not looking at each other. Not yet fully formed. Right? Not even aware of how deep it goes. But getting there. Spirit, the universe card is the world card in this deck. Spirit is showing your twin some illumination. They can't make heads or tails of it yet, though. I really trust that they are, because this is the Page of Swords in the reverse. So there's like a little bit of contemplation, but they don't even know what questions to ask. So your twin, in my particular connection, I never discussed the twin. I never got the chance to discuss the twin flame connection with my twin, although I know he knows what it is. Maybe he doesn't call it that, but he knows there's something other, right? This could be your twin too. Maybe you haven't had the chance to talk to them about what it means, but they know they can't stop thinking about you. There's not a moment that passes. They can't, the more they try to push it away, the heavier it gets. There has to be this place where I've described it to other twins that I know. It's just kind of this like persistent, dull ache. And the reason why I say that is because I'm having an achy shoulder right now. And it's not a sharp shooting pain, but it's a persistent, dull ache. And I can't seem to kick it out of there. And that's kind of what the twin connection is like. You can't just give it a stiff kick in the rear. It doesn't work like that. It's here to test you. And to that, it's just kind of like lucky you, right? The thing about twin flames that ascend, twin flames who ascend are here to heal the world. Twins are here to heal others. It's our kind of cosmic mission, right? Written in the stars, cosmic mission. There's so much activity going on in the 5D, and you're here just trying to live your humble pie life. And so is your twin. I'm trying to make a living. I'm trying to make a house a home. I'm trying to weather the elements, but they cut so deep. They're like in that coldness, that distance it's inside their bones right now. If they only had the courage to step outside and see, to step outside their comfort zone, is what I just heard, to see what spirit has to offer. Because when you follow your own divine path, for me it's reading tarot, if you haven't noticed. For me, I love reading tarot. I'm meant to do it, right? So whatever your calling is in life, and I hope, Cancers, that you found it, I will be so happy for you. And if you haven't found it yet, continue to talk to your guides. Ask for help. Ask for a direction. Ask your spirit guides to help you, to show you the way. Because when you follow your true path, you experience all kinds of success. Material, spiritual, energetic, everything. So right now, I feel as though, these are two energies that really beautifully work together, because I said the Five of Cups was a feeling of being left out, there's a melancholiness here. There's a change of perspective that's needed. And what a great perspective this could be if only you were observing it. So in order to do that, we have to be in touch. and not just in touch with our spirit guides, but in touch with our twins. And that doesn't mean calling them, texting them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this idea of astral travel, telepathy, dream state. Have you ever dreamt of your twin? If you have, it means that they're connecting to you. Work things out in those places. Meditate, meditate, meditate. You know, I've tried some guided meditations for twin flames online. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But it's never about like, I'm meditating so I can make them love me. It's not necessarily about that. They already love you, and that you have to trust. It's more about, I'd like you to understand my side of the street. And in doing so, I'll give you space. I'll hold space for you to understand your side of the street. In the connection, you have the Daughter of Cups. That's 3 pages in the reverse. And I shuffled this deck very thoroughly. That's not a coincidence either. This twin flame connection is still in its youthful stage, its stage of learning. It's still in its stage of learning. Daughter of Cups, the Page of Cups. Page of Cups usually talks about a gesture of love or friendship, an outreach of some kind, a text message, an email, a phone call, a hey, let's have coffee, that kind of thing in reverse with the 10 of Wands. Now, isn't that something? We're talking about twin flames, and all of the flames of these matches have been burned through and left a permanent scarring, a permanent mark on the page. This connection right now is struggling a little bit because there's no ignition, there's no spark, there's nothing that will, you know, I just saw the Batmobile and the engine of the Batmobile, and like the spark that ignites the fire that comes out of the Batmobile to propel this connection forward. It starts with starts with little victories. That's what I just heard. Do you see here how the flower goes straight through the middle of the body? Like an alignment to Kundalini rising. Kundalini is the kind of energetic life force within all of us. That's like a serpent, and it gathers in a coil at the base of your spine. And the idea is that you don't just stick to your base needs, your primal needs, simply your survival instincts or your sexual desires, that you rise in elevation into the solar plexus, where you harness your intuition, into your heart space, where you harness your capacity for love, into your throat chakra, where you harness your ability to master language and to communicate, into your third eye, where you master your connection with your guides and with the divine, into your crown, where you then receive downloads. It's like bringing that serpent energy all the way up so that it's fully extended. It's full consciousness and beyond, right? It is full consciousness that needs to happen, a full ascension that needs to happen between you and your twin for you to become in union again. Right now, it's like I can see the effort is there on both sides. It's almost like I struck 5 matches, they struck 5 matches. It feels a little impatient. I don't know why. Even though the matches are like all the way down. frayed edges. It's almost like you gotta, there's this fire in this, there's like a little campfire. I see somebody building a fire and putting kindling at the bottom, those small little twigs and pieces of paper, whatever, just to get that fire started. You need to foster the twin flame connection. And how do you do that? It's by having victories of your own. Every time you have a victory, even if it's being in a state of gratefulness, like true thankfulness and gratefulness, you raise your vibration and your twin has to match you. It's just how it is. You have to match. In those times when you're feeling down, maybe your twin is feeling down too. Raise each other up. Imagine that you are a powerhouse couple and this is what you're meant to do. It's very difficult though, because you can't, maybe you can't be with them physically. That's the crux of why this can be so difficult, but we have to persevere, right? For ourselves, persevere for ourselves. I see a lot of fear. When I say ego is the thing that keeps us from being disappointed and scared and alone. So we have to overcome that sense that, it's just like your connection to the divine, right? Like somehow you're not alone when it's the divine involved. When spirit is involved, you're just like, thank you, spirit, I know you're here. But with your twin, it seems different, but it really isn't. They're always with you. What's advice from spirit? The moon card in reverse, which in the tarot represents Pisces energy, but many attribute the moon to Cancer, of course, in astrology. And that's clarified by the Mother of Wands. Finally, we have a higher court card. Mother of Wands is the Queen of Wands. As we can see, not only is this is the wand, but it's like the Kundalini just rose all the way up. And now she's fiery and fabulous. Right? The moon is the card that talks about illusion and confusion. There is a dog and a wolf. So it is talking about those primal instincts. It is saying, can we overcome the primal instincts right now to see more clearly? Like, can we get over just what our base needs are and elevate, right? What are our base needs? Just codependency, attachment, affirmation from others. Like I need them to see how successful I am, or I need them to understand how much I love them, or I need them to tell me that they love me every day. Like whatever it is that you need, it's like, do you actually need it, or can you find it within yourself? Because the Mother of Wands, Queen of Wands, would suggest that you can. Queen of Wands the queens are always the power behind the throne. The Queen of Wands are the ones that have it figured out. I'm going to pull one more clarifier of advice from Spirit, right? Because right now they're advising that you blast open any areas of secrecy or pent up feelings of inadequacy that you have, and allow your Kundalini to rise. Just like I outlined, like really think about, is this a base need that I have, or is it an elevated consciousness? What's one more advice from Spirit? You actually got two cards. You got the Death card, which is pretty brutal, in reverse, Scorpio energy. Just basically depicts, I'm gonna cover it up because it's kind of brutal looking, a deer on the ground. Death card is Major Arcana, number 13, represents endings and new beginnings. And you got the Four of Swords, in the reverse, these little baby chicks in their little nest, sleeping. It's almost like saying it's time for you to wake up and recognize that there's some patterns within this connection that need to stop, and they stop with you. It's not good enough to say, well, it's my twin's fault, or they did this to me, or whatever. No. It's time to look and see what your responsibility in this scenario is. Really meditate on that. Anytime you feel triggered or you feel like you're missing them, just step into a calm, meditative space and assure yourself that you are enough. So, twins, I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new videos. Bye, Cancer.